Hey, what's up? It's your man Bentley Kyle Evans, and yes, we are back with another episode of the Hollywood Blueprint. Today we're in my office, and I'm getting ready to break down some simple yet fundamental facts about the entertainment business. See you in a minute. Today I want to talk a little bit about creative expression. You guys know what creative expression is? That is the artistic side of you. How do you balance that creative expression with the business side of Hollywood? These are two different entities. One is show and one is business, which makes show business. And how do you balance between the two of those? So let's just start with the creative expression. I believe that artists create their art, and I think that that's the most important part of any creative expression, any creative business. I feel like if you're creating your art, that's the first love. That's the initial love of what you're trying to do. I feel like if you're doing it for the money, you're compromising what the true intention of your creative expression is. So I think that, again, that there are two different things that are going on here. As an artist, you're creating art that will last for years and years to come. As a business person, you're taking that person's art or your own art and you're packaging it into something that's sellable. And so that's where the business side comes into it. That's when you start looking at the production, use distribution models that exist out there. You start looking at whether it's a feature film or whether it's a television series that you're trying to create. As long as you're getting out your creative expression, both of these things have to coincide with each other. Because if you just have creative expression and you don't have any business acumen, well, what happens? Then you just make a bunch of creative expressions, creative content, you put it on film, and then it just becomes a very high priced home video because if you can't get it to the masses, well, then it doesn't make sense to really create it if that's what your intent is. But if you're thinking about starting a business with your content, well, then you have to look at how do I take what I create and package it so that I can sell it to the masses. That is the business side of things. And that's the business in show business. So when they say ain't no business like show business, they're really telling the truth because it's a very lucrative business that you can make a ton of money off of. And let's just face it, it's not like rocket science, but it is a very intricate, detailed skill set and how to create a show and make it into something that's sellable. Again, your creative expression has to be your primary goal for being in this, or I believe you're in it for the wrong reason. Now, keep in mind when you're doing it for the business, I do believe that that can somewhat stifle your creativity a bit because now you're trying to create your content to fit inside of a box that somebody can sell. So that's really not your creative intention. That's not your creative expression. Now you're just doing it to fit into a box. Well, there's nothing wrong with doing that. But for me, I feel like what I'm doing is I'm leaving a legacy of artwork behind. It's not in the form of painting, but it's in the form of creating content, visual content, motion pictures, and things of that nature. So that's why it's important to me. Now, when you're dealing with network executives and studio executives, I feel like a lot of times those people are frustrated writers, frustrated creators. So they're giving you their opinions, but no real opinion matters more than your own opinion when you're creating your expression, when you're putting it out there. Because at the end of the day, if you're going to be criticized, and there are a lot of critics out there and cynics, they're going to criticize you based upon your best effort, right? But also, if you score a big win, they're going to give you the credit for your creative expression. So the best thing to do is put your best foot forward and worry about your creative expression as opposed to the business side, because whether you're not a business person or not, you can align yourself with a business person if you're good enough at being creative, and money will come flowing in to help finance your creations and get them out to the masses. So the reality of it is, again, I reiterate, it's really about your artistic creative expression. That's where it should start. It's like before you can drive a car, you have to put gas into the gas tank. It's just that simple. Before you can create a business or really make that business thrive in the entertainment industry, you have to create first. You have to put your creative gas into the tank, and then it can take off and go as far as it's able to go. So for me, I like to think about creating shows that are based upon reality, that are based upon things that have happened to me, that are based upon things that have happened to people that I know. And those are the things that make for great storylines and things of that nature. And that's your creative expression. So really, that's my 2 cents on the whole creative expression, the whole show business scenario, how the two coincide. And I'll catch you on the next episode of the Hollywood Blueprint. Peace.